everyone. My name is Ray Cecily, and I am your host for Project Happy Hour. Welcome. We're so glad that you're here to join us. And a kind reminder, be sure to grab your drink if you haven't had the chance yet. If you missed the first episode, no worries. You can always catch previous episodes on our Prosperi YouTube page. Catch you up to speed. We created the show because we wanted to provide a virtual happy hour that other workers of the industry can look forward to joining as an excuse to check out of work and check in to join us for some informal but educational fun. The way this works is that each episode, there will be a hot word that will be assigned. The goal is for the panelists to answer the questions asked while avoiding that word. Every time the word is mentioned, that will be how many US dollars we will be donating to the World Health Organization's COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund. Given the current health crisis and the fact that we're an international company, it's important for us to support our global family and the plausible research efforts that have been made by the WHO in the race to find an effective vaccine. With that, let's see what today's hot word is.
Oh, we're in trouble again.
So today's hot word is innovation. So each time a panelist says that word is another dollar that's added to our total donation tally. So let's get started and meet our panelists. I am pleased to introduce Leo Nogueira and Rogerio Murari. How's it going, guys?
Hello, I'm fine. How are you doing, Rogerio?
Fine.
I'm here with
Fine.
my beer from Canada. It's a Gutenberg White. And you, Rogerio?
It's a regular Pilsen Stella Artois with ice at this time.
Oh, different way. Innovation.
Yeah. All right, you guys ready to get started and see your first question?
Yes, let's roll it.
All right. What is the difference between innovation and ideation? Which, remember the hot words, innovation.
Okay, you can start today, Rogerio. Go ahead.
So I have to start. The I word is the application of information. Yeah, imagination, initiative, in delivering great or different values from resources. Of course, these people usually think that innovation. Oh, sorry, the I word must generate the disruptive product or service, but it's not completely right. Yep, this I word can be also incremental. Okay, not to be always disruptive.
Yeah, cool.
So,
Yeah, go ahead.
oh, come on.
Okay,
Go on.
just saying that we are recording this Project Happy Hour episode during the coronavirus pandemic, and due to all the social distance and quarantine, I'm not being able to have my haircut for more than 2 months. Then I started to think how I'm going to appear in this video with this totally wide hair, and I started an internal ideation process to solve this challenge. And we started getting ideas. And my first idea was, okay, let me watch a YouTube video, and I will probably have my haircut to do it myself. I said, no, I don't think that's going to work. Then, what about letting my wife have my haircut? No way. I thought about shave it all would be worse. And then my 8 years old boy came with this idea, why don't you build an automatic machine to have your haircut? That would be disruptive, but that's not so easy. And then the other idea is let's go to the barbershop. Here in Florida, it's already open, but for personal issues, I don't take the risk to go out my house today and go to the barbershop. Then I came with the idea to wear these big headphones that could hide my big hair, my white hair, and also improve the accuracy of the sound and the microphone. So the ideation challenge is to get all those ideas, is to capture the information and bring out those ideas. And innovation is turn those ideas into results that can bring value. That's the I word. Let's go, Ray.
Yes, ideation is most a technical process to support or hopefully boost innovation, right?
Yep, that's correct. It's the whole technique of to capture idea, it's ideation. And the application of these ideas in something that creates value, that's the I word.
The I word.
Yep.
I word is a good synonym.
Yeah. So ideation is coming up with the ideas, innovation's actually turning it into results.
That's correct, Ray.
Awesome. All right. Thanks for answering that. Let's move it on to our section called Tell Meme About It.
Oh,
So,
that's cool. The hair is worse than mine over there. It's really wide.
That's nice.
It's not
uh,
worse. It's really
This
wide.
wasn't nice.
Yeah, and I couldn't wear that today.
well, basically, I mean, it's always a joke about the men with their remote controls and keeping it very close to them because every man likes to have his remote control to watch TV. So I think this was kind of where they were going with this. And it says just because something's innovative doesn't mean it's a good idea. Which, like you said,
Yeah.
Victor's idea of coming up with a machine to do a haircut, it was innovative, but it doesn't mean that it was a good idea.
Yep, that's correct.
Yep. All right, moving on to our next question. Why is innovation, or sorry, what is innovation management and why is it crucial for companies?
Okay. IM is how the companies align the stakeholders into a process for creating, selecting, and executing ideas to create the value. So it's the entire process around that. Do you want to give more information on that, Rogerio?
Yes, the I word management. So I have to say that innovation management.
I
Yeah,
am. I am.
I am. Yeah, so it could be I am. It's a systematic approach to for generating and prioritizing, evaluating and validating new ideas, as well as putting them into practice. Right. In short, it means a track and monitoring the process by which new ideas are generated and converted into useful products and services. So, IM is crucial for companies because it helps business remain competitive over the long term by letting it always stay ahead of competitors and have greater profit margins. That's important to companies survive, right?
Yeah, that's right. Due to the velocity of the world today, it's transforming really quickly, and companies cannot keep doing business as usual. Otherwise, it will be accepting the risk to being disrupted because new business models are coming every day, new products are being launched, and if it's this business model as usual, still the way it is, can be out of market in an unprecedented speed. That's why it's really crucial to have innovation management on the companies nowadays. I said that I word again. Let's go, Ray.
Yeah, and I feel like just to add
Yeah.
on to that, with everything and all the challenges that are coming through to companies right now because of COVID-19, obviously, I think a lot of companies are really realizing how important this is, just because they're having to come up with new ideas, new concepts, new products to adapt to new market trends. It's just obviously super important in every way, in every aspect. So,
Yeah, and we need to be fast because the pandemic is right here. You have constraints of budgets, you have constraints of resource. The world has changed. It's not being working the same way it was a couple months ago. And to make decisions, you really need to have a IM innovation management process in place so you can really capture those ideas, be fast, make decisions, put that in execution, and realize the benefits and get the values.
fair enough. Makes sense. Definitely makes sense. All right, let's move on. So for Tell Meme About It, these are not memes, but it's something that obviously we're seeing with COVID-19. People are coming up with some of the most amazing ideas. So these were two that I thought were amazing. Obviously, people are lacking touch and hugs and being able to hug their loved ones. So obviously, the hug curtain has become quite popular. So I wanted to share that one. And then also this father that I love this. He took garbage cans and made a train for his kids with the lawnmower and was riding them down the street. So yeah, seeing lots of amazing, innovative ideas from families, whether it's to entertain their kids or to entertain themselves at home or just to be able to give someone a hug. I mean, whoever thought that we'd have to innovate on a way to give someone a hug? It's crazy. So yeah, I thought these were great to share because they're very, very relevant.
Yeah, and then you can see the power of crowdsourcing and providing voice and giving voice to everyone to bring with ideas. Ideas come from nowhere, from unexpected places, from unexpected people, and those are ideas that really can create some innovation.
Yep.
Yep.
So, next question. What is the best way to start a program and to measure progress? Because obviously measuring progress is super important to know if it's being effective.
I think that the first thing that needs to be done is to understand the importance of IAM, and then start as fast as possible to start discussing the subject in all level of the companies. We have to bring this how we are going to innovation, how we can change the culture, how we can involve everyone. And I personally think the best way to start that is by creating the first ideation campaign. So we can really turn ideas into value, award the best idea creators, and communicate the benefits that have been brought by these ideas to the entire organization. And we can see that ideation campaign can be done on several ways. You can do internally, you can do on any kind of tools. But if you start adopting a specific tools for ideation, a software that's created to that, you can really get the results really faster because you can have all the employees engaged in an easier and more effective way, and they can be feeling that they're participating of all the transformation and innovation that's going to be brought to the company. And when you bring those tools, you start to be able to measure the progress of those ideas by creating some criteria. If that's really specific to each customer for each company, but you can have some examples as what is the rate of employee engagement on the ideation campaigns, what is the relationship between my investments and my strategic alignment. I'm investing on the ideas and proposals and projects that align with my strategy. What is the expected return investments of all those ideas that I brought and the project? How many patents did we publish on the company? That's on a level of measure of innovation. That's fantastic. But of course, this depends on the industry. If you are, maybe you don't want to really create patents, but your innovation on bringing some manual process to digital, be able to improve productivity of our team and saving money. So there's a lot of ways to measure the progress of IAM and how to be done before, during the process, and on the benefits that are being realized. Do you want to add something, Rogerio?
Yes, just to say that a good starting point is adopting an ideation tool. Also, ideation tool is essential, but it's not enough for a successful ideation program, I think. Microsoft Teams and other tools are frequently used for this purpose, but there are also specialist tools for ideation. At this times and with the pandemics, and so there's lots of tools about remote calling and some remote meetings and about that, but there are really specific tools for improve and boost your ideation programs.
Makes sense. Definitely makes sense. All right.
Yeah, and when you bring a tool, there is a process already embedded in each tool. So it's a way to really start adopting and using that process and collecting results faster than trying to invent the wheel again.
Yeah, which a lot of
Yeah.
companies do try and reinvent the wheel, which they don't need
Yep.
to. Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Let's move on. I love this meme. This is pre-COVID days. This has been around for a while. You might have seen it before, but that is innovation. So I'm sure it was a man who was at home and his wife hid the blender from him so he couldn't blend. And I'm sure he came up with this himself because I don't think a woman she knew to use a blender or at least a whisk.
This was
Yeah,
is very nice. I'm
thinking
this after this meeting.
uh, it,
Yeah.
it's someone thinking outside the box, of course.
Definitely.
Yep.
That is the epitome of innovation for sure. So had to
Yep.
share that one. All right, moving on to our next question. So where do ideation and iWord programs go wrong?
So I give the honor to you, Rogério.
Why? Why? I know when the companies are go wrong. Yeah.
Just
So when
to
companies
start.
launch when companies launch their innovation programs, at first many of the companies are successful in generating new ideas, but they are not successful on tracking the ideas and put them in practice, right? It's crucial that contributors see how their ideas are adding value to the company or to the customer to stay engaged, right? Otherwise, there will still be a perception that all their effort invested into ideas development was lost. The company must assure the tracking of ideas life cycle to keep people continuously engaged from the beginning to idea from the to the project implementation, right?
Yeah, I agree. I understand that the IAM program goes wrong when the organization works only part of the process. Uh, Sometimes they start a IAM program and they only start promoting ideation campaign and don't worry about other things that are coming before after that. Like they get the ideation campaign, select the ideas, but they don't really select the ideas and see if the ideas are aligned with the company strategy, or they don't prioritize based on the constraints of resource that they have. Like if it's on based on my budget, or if I have the specific human resource to implement those ideas, and of course lacking of execution controlling, like you said. Summarizing what I think that goes wrong is the company need to pay attention to all the phase, and usually custom set the phase as vision, that's capturing the ideas, value, that's the right the business case and get all the information if that idea is really good, make decisions, so select and prioritize the correct ideas, people, and so have the right resource to execute that and the results that the ideas are going to bring. So if you don't go end to end on this IM process, you're probably going to fail on the I innovation and the innovation. I said several times, so I'm going to donate more money program.
Hey, it's to a good
So
cause.
some research shows that only around 15% of organizations currently track the end-to-end process from idea to final benefits delivery.
So
Yes,
I
and
feel like
probably if
right there is where they go wrong as well. They're not, I mean, there's so many that aren't even tracking it and, not even using a scoring system. There's no consistency.
yeah, and probably some of those organizations on the 15% that control end to end are using several different tools, and when they really have to compare the business case with the benefits, they have to go there and collect the PowerPoint that they sent to the committee, compared to the benefits that are being collected on the ERP, and making manual reports. So even on the 15th, probably there's a lot of increase on productivity that can be done.
Yep, makes sense. Well, hopefully they'll find the right tools out there. I know we offer some great tools. I'll put in a shameless plug, doesn't matter. Obviously, Teams Ideas is amazing, and that's one of the best for end to end. So, yeah, and they can get started for free with that, which is even better because there's great tools, but ours starts for free. Well, we'll drink to that.
Here.
Cheers.
Everyone likes free. All right. So, I love this one. This is great. Tell
This
me
is
about it. This guy is showing innovation at its finest. How many times do you accidentally drop your phone on your face because you're laying in bed at night or laying on the couch or your arm
I'm,
gets tired? This guy
I'm,
was like, I've got a solution.
I'm just trying to imagine what he's watching there.
It actually
My
gets
daughter
really
will
close
love it.
to his face.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Awesome. All right. This is our final question. So, how do companies build an innovative culture? I'm only doing it so you can pay more money, Leo. How do companies build an innovative culture and motivate creativity like with their colleagues?
Okay. I think the first one is to engage everyone. And to engage everyone, you need to bring a common purpose. We are driven by purpose. We have to be on the same page and get engaged to make that transformation, to bring that purpose alive. And then we start to communicate those proposals and the goals with fully transparency. You need to be everyone in the organization knowing the direction you want to go, the purpose you want to achieve, and of course, when you're talking about innovation, innovate culture, you need to be accepting to control the risk. Risk is some part of inherent of this approach. And when you accept the risk, people start to collaborate and get engaged because they have a specific purpose. And then you can start to award and recognize the people that's engaged on this kind of campaign or this kind of IM process. And something that's a lot importance, the innovation management and this process need to create value. So we have to communicate the values and show that the values that are being created to the entire organization on all levels, so everyone can be feeling part of that process, and that's how you create this culture and motivate everyone to be creative. Rogerio, it's up to you.
Yeah. There are some different perspectives about key factors that influence in the I word and organizations. There are some studies that relate innovation to organization culture and other that relate to specific incentives. There's not a consensus about this, but I like some studies that mention psychological safety. This study says that most successful and innovative companies like Google, for example, provide psychological safety to their teams so people may have new ideas and put them in practice without any penalties in case of things go wrong. This is a very nice idea. It's a very nice
Yeah,
perspective about this.
yes. Just remember here, if you look Microsoft now and Microsoft a couple of years ago, the transformation that was made by Satya Nadella, I was I read his book a couple of years ago, and one of the things that they did was to be changing this culture and not really being a punishment organization. I read that before Satya, you go to the meeting and feel not comfortable to give ideas because if you don't get the results, you could be like seen in not a really good way. And Satya changed this point of view inside Microsoft, though it's in a more collaborative way. You can make mistakes, you can work with the teams on that's not your team jointly. And if there's a problem, if you didn't reach that result, that's okay. You learn of that mistake and still growing. And Microsoft is a great example of using this kind of approach and really changing how business is done. And you can see on the shares that went up, all the results, all the new things, and Microsoft is also cool again on the business. I agree totally with what you said.
Yeah,
Yep. I also like,
yeah.
I think also what you were saying, Leo, back in the beginning about awarding and recognition. One, I had a leader once tell me that people work harder for praises than raises, which is so true. A lot of people, recognition doesn't have to be monetary things. It doesn't have, or awards doesn't have to be monetary. It can also be recognition. People think when they hear awards that, oh, we don't have the budget for this, or, how are we going to make it more fair for people because we can't spend X amount of money on this one and not on this one. So I definitely think that recognition is a good way of awarding people in different ways. And there's different ways of recognition, whether it's a front parking spot or a certificate or giving them a shout out on a company-wide email. It's definitely really important because then it engages people more and definitely motivates creativity, like you were saying. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely work. I like when I get recognized. I think you guys too. I mean, it's when people notice what you're doing, it definitely motivates you even more. It gives you that little extra umph, and you're like, "Ooh, okay." So
Totally agree. It's like it's not all about money. And if you just give a award and people can see that you've done something, you'll be able to receive go lunch with the CEO. Like I said, a parking spot exclusive. So you don't really need to spend a lot of money to recognize people and award those ideas. It's different for each organization, but on each culture you have a different way to bring those awards and that recognition. But that's really important on any cultural innovation, because if you have the right proposal, if you're working a lot, you know the strategy, you bring ideas, but nobody in the organization is giving you credit for that, you probably start to working hard, and then the curve of the work is not going to change, because if nobody is recognize what you're doing in that organization. So you have to go on both hands, on both sides. So I give to the company, but the company need to give you back. And one of the best way to give you back is by recognize that in different aspects and different ways. But that's how it drive people motivation.
Yep. So true. So true. All right. So I just wanted to also highlight as well. So just a reminder that we're supporting the World Health Organization's COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund. So we will be making a donation for all the number of times that the I word was said, innovation, throughout this episode. So we're happy to support a great cause. And just one last thing before we wrap up, I just wanted to mention that we do have our email address that everyone can send any feedback to, if they want to see any themes of the episode, if they want to give any question suggestions. We've received a lot already. So you can always reach out to askphh@prosperityglobal.com. So Ask Project Happy Hour. So Ask PHH. And that's where you can give us any feedback, give us any questions, or give us any themes. Just because this is why we're here. We're here for you, and just to provide you some entertainment and also some informal educational fun. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and we're glad that you were able to join us. And cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Appreciate it. Hey.